Hello and welcome to India IT 360, the Tech Tea podcast. I'm your host, Survi Sahay, Senior Content Writer at India IT 360. And today with me is well-known CISO and an expert IT security strategist having more than 26 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Dr. Yusuf Hashmi, Group CISO at Jubilant Bhartia Group. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
So, such a vast and extensive professional career you have. So much of in depth knowledge you must be owing with you. So, please tell us something about your professional journey.
Oh, yeah, it's very interesting. 26 years, starting from a very small company in Lucknow, where
Okay.
I did my education. And then in 2020, I moved to New Delhi, right? So, where I got an opportunity in an organization, a very large organization, of course, where I was able to actually exercise and perform a lot of learning experience. So I think your initial career constitute a lot of learning in your career, which helps you in your future endeavors. I think that is a message for every young aspirant who are looking to make something. I think spend as much as possible in learning new technologies, understanding, absorb the environment those technologies are laying down, right? And of course, understand the businesses. I think that enabled me to actually further enhance my career. Uh, Being a technology person, I've been hands-on in technologies, in Windows, networking, applications. So I think uh, more and more opportunity comes as you get more and more visibility to your role, enhance your responsibilities. So I think overall, when I talk about as a career, first part of my career spent on hands-on and technology, and the second part is to marry technology and business and processes. So
Oh,
that's how you utilize your technical experience because you are in a technology domain. So unless you don't have hands-on, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually explain and create that environment of understanding for others to understand, right? So that's how I actually evolved myself over a period of this year. A lot of research I do for any new technologies in depth, whether it is IT or non-IT, doesn't matter. If
right.
it's interest, definitely I get into details of how does this technology works, how it can be implemented, what are the challenges in implementation, right? And what are the
Right.
benefits that we're going to draw. So that's how. So currently, I'm playing a role where I'm responsible for around 17 group companies across Jubilant. So it's a
Right.
responsible role. I think anybody who's looking to take career in cybersecurity, they need to hands-on on infrastructure and applications because that is what you are trying to protect: identity, device, and applications.
Right.
So that's and it's ever evolving domain. So there is no end to learning for cyber. So it's very dynamic and continuous learning and adoption of these technologies, processes, and the changes in the environment is the need of the hour.
Right. Very well said, sir. So, moving on, I'll get to the question. So, we will be talking about trust security. So, in the present time where security is so much essential, what is your say on zero trust security and why it is so much essential in today's digital space?
Because the way the dynamics of the environment have changed, the working methodologies have changed. Wherein 10 years back, nobody was able to work at home or nobody was able to get a VPN itself. Very few people
Right.
used to gain access when working from home, right? In this core, and then came COVID, which actually triggered uh, new ways to manage and control. So, wherein earlier COVID, your employees used to come to office, go back home, right? So you need to just focus to strengthening your office facility, right, from security
Right.
attacks or something. Now, when people have started working from their home, it becomes an office itself. So the number of people working from home is the number of offices that you have to ensure there's a protection across those areas. So zero trust, of course,
Right.
is a framework, is an approach, is a strategy where you are able to protect your information assets, your identities, your applications, your networks, your endpoints from ever evolving threats which
Right.
gets open in outside world, because zero trust is nothing but you have to continuously verify the access, the privileges, right, of your identities, of your
Right.
application, of your devices. So it's not a technology, it's a holistic approach to ensure that whoever have access, it gets verified, or not just verified once, continuously should get verified at every touch points that you have, which gain access to your organization.
Right. So, sir, so what will be your input to organizations that are incorporating the zero trust architecture?
Yeah, I think the very first thing that they need to ensure their identity space is streamlined. The very first
Okay.
thing is to make sure you have a single control or a centralized view of your identities, because those
Yeah.
identities would be used by partners, by your employees, might be your
Mm-hmm.
customers as well. So I think if you don't have visibility of the identity, your identity space, because that's the first point of contact for any user or any employees to gain access to the resources that you are trying to provide. So
Mm-hmm.
that need to be seriously strengthened. And then, of course, your infrastructure is very important. It should be able to actually cater to the need where you have multiple connections, you have cloud, you have on-prem. So it's very essential to mature your existing infrastructure stack in order to take that step towards zero trust. Because if you don't have a mature infrastructure environment, for example, if your devices are not being updated regularly, not patched, when zero trust scenarios, if anybody gain access, they would not be able to gain access to the resources unless the system has not been tested for patches. So that's the one of the major area for device zero trust, right? Because you have to check the device who you somebody is working from home. I don't have visibility. If I don't have visibility, how would I be able to give access to that device? Right? So
Okay.
that's very essential to strengthen the identity space, the infrastructure space, how you laid down your network infrastructure, the access mechanism. I think that should be the first steps towards taking the zero trust journey.
Okay. So when we change from one setup to another, when the organization changes from one setup to another, there are a number of obstacles that come in the way of implementation. So what are some of the biggest barriers businesses face while shifting to the zero trust model? And how can they work around them to overcome these challenges?
Uh, all of these technologies are very disruptive technologies. I am a personal believer that whenever there's a disruptive technology who's going to interrupt or the way the users operate will
Right.
always be a challenge, and very cautious approach has to be taken in order to adopt these technologies, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to become a disabler for a business user,
Okay.
right? Tomorrow, if I implement without understanding the business context, how does those controls will apply in that specific scenario, it would lead to tremendous amount of chaos, right? End user dissatisfaction. So I think very essentially, you need to understand your business context and start slowly into that journey, right? Because tomorrow, if you want to implement a DLP, a cloud DLP, wherein your user access cloud applications, and if you start blocking it, then of course business will get impacted, and users will not be able to perform their day-to-day task. So a very phased-wise approach after having thorough understanding of your infrastructure, your business environment, you take an approach phase wise so that you don't apply certain principles across the organization. So make it in sprints that would help us to learn, apply and take the learnings and move to the next sprint after applying the learnings that you had so that the entire organization is not impacted for the change which is coming up.
Okay. So, can you share a real-time example of zero trust security that is significantly enhancing the overall security system? Any
I think
example for that?
zero trust SSE is something which is based on zero trust.
Okay.
It will give you the ability to have a centralized control over your internet, over your data, over your cloud apps, and of course your remote access. I think because generally the VPNs are not being made in an environment where they provide everything to the user once he gain access to the network. So I think this is something which gives a lot of great ability to strengthen and create a centralized policies. So apply it across the organization. Otherwise, it's not possible for you to, if you are spread across different geographies. In that scenario, every geography would be managed by its own set of policies. So you can centralize the policies and apply those policies across. So, sir, I have a single view of my entire security posture from
Mhm.
internet, from cloud, from your data, from your VPNs, ZTNA. So I think this is something is a great ability for the CISOs to have a control and monitoring of your entire access across your landscape.
Okay. So, how does adopting zero trust affect an organization's network structure during its day-to-day operation?
I think zero trust will significantly improve your network performance.
Okay.
Because today, if you are running a proxy, running on an on-prem
Mm-hmm.
proxy, then all the traffic goes to the proxy and your network and your firewalls, right? So
Okay.
when you apply technologies like SWIG, which is a zero, this is based on zero trust, right? So it will enable you to improve your network efficiency, reduce the workloads on your
Okay.
firewalls. I think, and of course, the amount of operational overhead in maintaining these systems on-prem is a biggest challenge, right? When you move to a
Okay.
zero trust cloud-based solution, I think every the onus lies with the software provider, right? So you don't have to worry about the availability of your systems, right? You're not worried about the throughput, right? Everything is managed by the SaaS provider who is providing zero trust capabilities. So I think
Right.
uh, it eases down operational overhead significantly. Whether it is infra or security, it really reduces the amount of effort that used to be there before you apply such solutions in your environment.
Okay. So, so what are some emerging trends in zero trust security that we should be aware of?
Oh, I think we have already
Mm-hmm.
discussed about SASE,
Mm-hmm.
which is widely is based on zero trust itself. Uh, Uh, I think we can get rid of VPNs because
Okay.
VPNs will give you access to all the layers, OSI layers, right from layer 3 to layer 7. So I think when you introduce zero trust network access, you can limit the amount of resources only what is needed by the user, right? It gives you
Mm-hmm.
ability to micro segment your application landscapes. So tomorrow, if I want to give only access to finance team to the financial applications, I can restrict them for accessing
Mm-hmm.
other applications. So which means you're able to reduce your attack surface significantly, right? And of course, provides uh, user experience as well because I once you have zero trust in place, you don't have to connect
Mm-hmm.
um, exclusively to a VPN. It's seamless connectivity. Whether you work from home or you work from office, you will have the same kind of experience as you work in office. So I think
Okay.
the ever connected environment, you are always
Mm-hmm.
connected. You have, and while I'm connected, I have all the security controls are also in place, irrespective of my location.
Mhm. So, sir, how do the requirements and challenges of the zero trust security work around various industries like healthcare, finance, or retail?
Oh yeah, I think largely the ecosystem remains same for all the industries, except
Mm-hmm.
few contextual areas. Every industry has its own unique uh, operating environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Banking, of course, heavily led by those applications running, and you have the customer interfaces as well. So I would like to definitely protect my infrastructure using zero
Okay.
trust
Zero
because
trust.
I don't want to be in a position where I don't know who's actually accessing my infrastructure. I would need to lay down my defenses,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in case if the visibility aspect is most essential, I have the visibility, I would be
Mm-hmm.
able to protect my assets, protect my data, right? And ensure the integrity of the data is maintained. And of course, availability is the key
Mm-hmm.
function of security. So I have to see that how the information should be available when it is needed, right? So all of these factors contribute to gain an environment of, uh, you can say, a digital trust. That is something that we need to actually incubate into our environment as a security professionals.
Okay. So, could you help us understand that what are the misunderstanding around zero trust, like going on?
Yeah, zero trust is not disabler. For example, people have apprehensions about zero trust that tomorrow, if you enabled zero trust, all my access and would be revoked, right? So it is not that. The only difference is that while you're sitting at home or in office, you will have the same experience. Usually, more the office networks are protected, but when people go back home, the internet or the all the remains open for them to gain access to
Mhm.
their personal access, Gmail or web. So that experience, of course, you will have seamless experience from security point of view, and of course, it will enhance your ability to have uh, access to my enterprise resources everywhere while
Mhm.
ensuring security. So I think the misconception about zero trust is not a disabler; it is actually enabler, and in fact, it will leverage your ability to actually enhance your existing operations and efficiency while you are working, irrespective of your location.
Okay. Irrespective of the location, it can be like it's good to have zero trust is there. So, what is your say on or your advice for the upcoming generation willing to explore or implement the zero trust security if it comes to the upcoming generation that are working towards it?
I think very importantly to understand zero trust, the basic premise of infrastructure applications
Mm-hmm.
network has to be understood well, because if you don't have that understanding of the infra applications network endpoints, for you to absorb zero trust would be a challenging, right? So hands-on experience will always help you, and then once you have that ability to actually manage and understand and translate those operational aspect, you are in a better position to actually take the zero trust journey, right? So it's not advanced zero trust principally have been there for years. The concept of
Right.
least privileges has been there for years. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to give access what I need, right? Only. So, but that has now gone beyond identities. So now it has gone to applications, it has gone beyond to your devices, and it is continuous, right? So that's how it's not one-time access that I can gain everything. So every step of your actions are getting uh, validated by a zero trust framework, and then you are able to gain access what actually you need. So there's a lot of learning, understanding of the identity space, the device space, the device security posture, right? And your
Right.
entire network connectivity, how these applications are connected,
Mm-hmm.
where these active from where, what are the use cases from where these applications would be connected. Is it from device? Is it for home device? Is it a third party partner who's going to access this my applications, or is going to provided by a company managed device? So there are different scenario. People should do understand those those use cases first and then start applying zero trust in each of those use cases.
Okay. So, such an elaborate discussion on zero trust and its implementation. Thank you so much for your time and your this valuable insight. I really enjoyed, and I hope my audience will also enjoy this.